This is now the third of our monthly Microsoft Update webinars. Thanks for joining us. We hold them on the third Wednesday of every month. And on this month's agenda, we have got some Viva licensing updates so that you're aware of what's in Viva and how to license it. And then we got the pleasure of having Clare Riley from Microsoft speaking about Career Coach, which is what you're probably mostly here to listen to. And then we'll have some time at the end for Q&A. We leave it to the end, but feel free to drop questions into the chat window as we go ahead. Okay, so Viva, what is it? Well, Viva is a suite of products, and it's from a new category of solutions called EXP, or Employee Experience Platform, and it works within Teams. The suite consists of 4 components: connections, learning, insights, and topics. And in education, learning is of particular interest. The good news is some of the components are already in the A3 and A5 licenses that you already have. But to get the full functionality, you do need to purchase either Viva as a suite to get all the components, or you can buy individual components within the suite. As always, if you want more than one component, it might be better to go for the full suite, but speak to our sales team and they will advise you on the best way of purchasing Viva. There's a link here on the screen, and I'll drop it in the chat window afterwards, but it explains what's included in A3 and A5 and what you have to pay for separately. But ignore the pricing, because this is general commercial pricing, and you will all have Microsoft Education EES pricing. Okay, so if I move into the individual components, connections, it's really the entry point for your employee engagement, and it's particularly useful in this day and age of hybrid working to keep individuals informed. It's a branded destination that includes features such as virtual town halls, news feeds, communities, resources, and this branded destination can be tailored to individual users or groups of users as you need. There's some good news here in that it's all of this functionality is already included in your A3 or A5 licenses, which you already have. Moving on to learning then. So learning provides learning libraries for your staff and your students. Learning libraries are included in your A3 and A5 licenses, and there are some content there as standard. So all the Microsoft Learn content is in there. You have some Microsoft 365 training in there, and you have the top 125 LinkedIn courses included within your current subscriptions. You can add subscriptions from additional providers, and you can link it to your LMS systems, but that requires the full functionality, and therefore you need a Viva license or a learning license for that subscription. Okay. My next subject is going to be insights. So insights helps you with employee time management. It was previously called Workplace Analytics, and it includes personal insights, which you already have in A3 and A5. And this gives you information on how much time you spend in meetings, how much time you spend on emails and all that sort of stuff. But Insights adds manager and leader insights, so an aggregated view of your organization so that you can look at working practices, and it helps you with things like making sure that you don't have employee burnout, especially with home working. This information, importantly, is anonymized data. So you don't see information on the individual users, but you see aggregated data of users. What is also particularly useful is it can be connected to Glint information, which are surveys from within LinkedIn, and that then gives you an aggregated dashboard of working practices and user feedback to give you insight into what's going on in the workplace. Again, the manager and leader insights does need a full Viva or an add-on license. Okay, finally, there's topics. And topics is a way of surfacing information within your organization. It introduces a concept called topic cards, and it uses AI to organize your data. Topic cards are surfaced in Office 365 applications, and it gives links to additional information about a topic and to topic experts then within your organization. This isn't included as part of your current licensing and is only available as an add-on license. But like all of the information, all of the components, they can all be gotten within the full suite. So those are the four main components of Viva, but Microsoft are always adding to this. And this year, Goals is being added, which gives you assistance with targets within your organizations and OKRs and things like that. And that's coming this year. Okay, so that's it from me, but I'm now going to pass you on to Clare. And Claire's going to be talking about Career Coach, which fits in nicely with some of these modules, especially Viva Learning. Okay, Clare, over to you.
So let me just put up my slide deck, if that's okay. Give me a shout, guys, when you can see it. Hopefully that's coming through.
Yes, yeah, we can see it now.
Great. And Career Coach, I mean, I'm delighted to be able to talk about it just after Viva, because I always think about Viva as being often a staff solution, and the learning part of Viva, the learning part for students is Career Coach. So it's a sort of parallel product, I guess, but it's student focused. But I jumped in at the deep end. So who am I? I lead a skills team in Microsoft. I work with all the account execs, just in colleges and universities. I don't worry about schools. There's somebody else who does that. And I'm delighted to talk to you about Career Coach, which is a fairly new product, but is going down really well. And there are some great establishments in Wales already who are taking this on and seeing what they can do with it. But first of all, what I wanted to do is just to position it a bit. We did some research in the education team just before Christmas, and we talked to universities and colleges and businesses and government and students and parents and everybody about what is it that students need when they come out of education and move into the world of work. And the reason I called the paper Degree Plus Digital is that there was a complete unanimous kind of consensus that nowadays students need more than a very good degree. They need a great degree, but they also need to show that they've got digital capabilities as well. And I think that It applies to colleges. You need academic qualifications, and you also need your digital capabilities. And it's only then that you've got the table stakes for competing for the best jobs that come along. And the research is just really good context, and I put the link in so that when you get the deck after the call, you're very welcome to sort of browse around. But it's a great way to start a conversation with a customer, because there's data like 69% of businesses say they've got a skills gap. I mean, I'll flick through these slides, but 80% of employers say that their students don't arrive work ready. And maybe that's a statistic that we kind of suspected, but I thought this one was really interesting. 68% of students don't even understand what skills they need to go forward. Then if you think about the type of skills, the digital capabilities we're talking about, I think it's really helpful to define them in two different ways. That there's the consumptive digital capabilities. This is a definition that other people have come up with, not me. But it's very handy. And it says, I'm working in a modern hybrid workplace, and I need to be able to use Office 365 and Teams and Excel and all of those things really well. And every student needs that, every student. But then there are what are called productive digital capabilities, which are those most in demand technologies like cloud and data and AI, security, Power Platform, things like that, where you use the technology to do something. And increasingly, these are being required right across the campus. So they used to be in the computing faculty, but now it's business, it's law, it's geology, it's everybody wants these capabilities too. One of the things that the research came up with was the fact that if you're a student and you're headed out into the world of work, you're likely to have a LinkedIn profile. And if you're a LinkedIn member with one of the Microsoft professional certifications on your profile, you're 2.5 times more likely to be hired. And that's a great statistic that students know, parents know, everybody knows. So it kind of points to why people are looking to Microsoft to help them get ready for the world of work. Almost the last page of the research that we did highlights 3 particular offerings from Microsoft. And the first of these is Career Coach, which we're going to talk about now. But there's also an offering where free learning materials for students, free teaching materials for the lecturers, free exam cram, free practice tests, free exam vouchers for cloud and data and AI. And the third offering is about workplace productivity, where again, the student qualifications, the student curriculum, sorry, and the teaching materials are all free. There's a small charge for the certifications here. But those are the sort of 3 big offers that my team works with all of your customers, I guess. And if we jump into Career Coach, I guess the reason we came up with this solution is that everywhere we came across this fact that student employability is a challenge, and it's a huge challenge. How can you engage alumni to help and support your students? How can you offer them personalized guidance when you've got 40 or 20,000 students and only 5 people in the careers team? How do you do a really good job making sure that students have an outcome which is as good as it should be, bearing in mind the degree that they've studied? And the first thing we discovered when we were doing some research is that students just don't know necessarily where they're going. So that's problem 1. And here's the statistic we talked about a minute ago, which even if they don't know where they're going, they also don't know what skills they need to go anywhere. And then you think, well, students don't always connect very well with their career services. And I thought it was rather shocking that 60% of students have either 0 connection with careers across a year, or they might have 1 meeting. So 60% have 0 or 1 meeting in a year. 40% have better than that. And perhaps one of the best things that Career Coach does is that when people start using it really well, that number really changes, and it shrinks from 60% to 20%. And the number of students who have a good engagement with their career service goes up from 40% to 80%. And that's because Career Coach lowers the bar to that whole conversation about careers. Because it's a Teams for Education app, because it sits in your Teams, it's there 24/7. It's really easy to flip in and out of and to share stuff with your lecturer or your buddies or anyone. You know, it's a really engaging and easy way for people to get started. It's a low stakes engagement to get started. And then they build their relationship with the careers team and off they go. Now, I want to keep this quite short on the presentation side. So I've got a few slides and then a video, and then we got lots of time for Q&A. But this slide kind of captures everything that Career Coach is. So it's basically a Teams for Education app which brings together 3 really great world-class resources. First of all, you've got Teams, which is the best collaboration platform there is, and it's a great way for students to share their thinking with their careers advisors, their lecturers, or their friends. Secondly, it's got LinkedIn. It's the biggest professional network in the world in terms of real-time labour market insights. It's got the best intelligence. It's got the fantastic skills and capabilities, frameworks. It's full of information and resources. And then you've got LinkedIn Learning and Microsoft together providing acres of modules and learning and courses and certification and all of those kinds of things. And the university itself or the college itself can add in their own resources. So the basic story of Career Coach, I guess, is that a student would open up and would say to themselves, well, I think I'm interested in this career. And they can, based on all of the information that's available through LinkedIn, they can search all the different careers. They can see which careers are on the rise and on the fall. They can see which sectors you could, if you want to be a data scientist, for example, you might not want to do that in a bank. You might want to do it in a fashion company or a farm, so you can figure out the type of job you want, and then you can see from that what skills you need to be that person. There's a skills taxonomy that clarifies that for you. So you know where you want to go. Next question is, where am I now? So you build a profile for yourself within Career Coach, and you can put in the courses you're studying, the internships you've done, the work experience, holiday jobs, everything. Put it all in. And a great big AI engine behind it then says, well, you can demonstrate you've got these skills and capabilities. So now the student knows where they are and where they're trying to get to. And then the AI engine goes off again and it searches LinkedIn Learning, Microsoft Learn, M365, anything that the university has loaded up as well. So it might be their whole course catalogue for the whole college or university. Or it might be just the things that come from the careers team, hackathons and experience days and things like that. And the student is presented with some options, would you like to do this, this, and this? And it's a way for them to acquire additional competencies and confidence as they go through their university or college career. So this is what Career Coach is. It's a Teams for Education app powered by LinkedIn. It sits in the left-hand nav bar underneath calendar and calls and all of those things that you normally see there. For people not familiar with LinkedIn, the reason it's such a brilliant partner for us on this project, 722 million members worldwide, 55 million companies. It's got so many jobs which are there all the time. You can see which jobs are on the rise, which jobs are not. It's a fantastic resource for the students to be able to access. I think just a quick summary of Career Coach before we have a look at a video. From the student's point of view, think about it doing 3 things. The first thing it does is help them discover their career path. Where do they want to go? Then it helps them build the skills that will help them get there, acquire the skills that will make them job ready so that when they turn up for an interview, they're a good candidate. And then, of course, because you've got LinkedIn, it allows you to build your professional network, to understand, talk to people about the jobs, understand where the jobs are coming up, all that kind of thing. So from a student's point of view, 3 really brilliant values, which are available, as I say, 24/7, and the whole conversation improves the general conversation that students are having with their institution about careers. But from the institution's point of view, first of all, they can customize it with their own resources, like I mentioned. Secondly, they can get great, powerful insights about what their students are doing. Are they reaching out to alumni and having conversations with them? Are they going off and studying this or that? What are they actually doing as a result of Career Coach? And then, of course, they've got, improving the student outcomes. And we've got some good data emerging. Remember, it's a very young product. We've got some good data emerging about how well that's moving along. What I wanted to do now is just to show you a super quick video. It's only about a minute, but it'll give you a bit of a look and feel for Career Coach. And then I'll give you a link at the end. And then we'll open up for Q&A. But basically, let's have a quick look at this video, and it might show you what it's like. If anyone can't hear the sound, give a shout. We tested it this morning, so I hope it's going to be okay. Here you go. Ooh. Now I can't hear the sound. Can you? Brilliant. So what I've done is a very quick scamper through Career Coach, but in this Smart Links here, which is called Career Coach Info, what you'll find there is a much longer deck. You'll find a recording of a round table with University College Cork, who've been using it for a year, and they present some of the results of what they found and how the students and staff liked it. And a lot of universities in the UK asked some questions, and that's quite interesting. There's loads of additional information in there as well about how you set it up, how you buy it, what resources are available for lecturers to have sessions with their students to make sure they make the most of it, and all of those kinds of things. So there's an enormous wealth of resources. There's 15 different assets in this Smart Links. And if you wanted to sort of look through those in your own time, hopefully it would answer nearly all of the questions that you might have.